The emergency beacon crackled across 17 star systems, its desperate signal reaching every civilized world within 100 light years. The message was simple, terrifying, and had never been broadcast before in the galaxy's recorded history. Quarantine Protocol 7. Zarathian Prime compromised. Do not approach. Ambassador Kethvar of the Galactic Council trembled as she read the transmission logs. Her forearm shook uncontrollably, a reaction shared by every species that had heard the news. The nightmare of Zarathian Prime had awakened. For 3,000 years, the galaxy had lived in relative peace, save for one universal terror that haunted every spacefaring civilization's darkest myths. The creature had no official name. Speaking it aloud was considered an invitation to catastrophe. Ancient texts simply called it the Devourer, a being so terrifying that entire star systems had been evacuated at the mere rumor of its presence. The beast stood 30 feet tall with razor-sharp claws that could slice through reinforced titanium like paper. Its hide was impenetrable to conventional weapons, and its acidic saliva could melt through a battleship's hull in minutes. Most terrifying of all were its hunting tactics. It was intelligent, cunning, and seemed to take sadistic pleasure in the terror it inflicted before making its kill. The last recorded encounter had been on Xerion 4, where it had single-handedly wiped out a colony of 10,000 Bravaxians before disappearing into the void. The survivors' accounts were so traumatic that most had to be kept in permanent psychiatric care. Now it had returned, and Zarathian Prime, one of the most heavily fortified worlds in the galaxy, had fallen silent. Captain Sarah Chen of the human exploration vessel Odyssey received the quarantine broadcast 3 days into her routine survey mission of the Outer Rim territories. Her crew of 32 humans had been mapping uninhabited systems for potential colonization when the priority alert reached them. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Rodriguez from the communications station, "we're receiving a distress signal from Zarathian Prime. Sounds like they've got some kind of creature problem." Chen raised an eyebrow as she read the transmission. The dramatic language seemed a bit over the top, even for an emergency broadcast. "Prep the ship for hyperspace jump to Zarathian Prime. Let's see what all the fuss is about." "Ma'am," interrupted Navigator Kim, "according to this alert, we're supposed to maintain a 5-light-year minimum distance. Every ship in the sector has been ordered to avoid the system entirely." Chen shrugged. "Since when do humans follow do not approach signs? Besides, if there are survivors down there, they need help." The Odyssey emerged from hyperspace to find the Zarathian system in chaos. Dozens of abandoned ships floated in orbit around the planet, their crews having fled in panic. The planet's once bustling orbital stations were dark and silent. "Captain," reported Chief Science Officer Dr. Park, scanning the surface, "I'm detecting one massive life form in the planet's northern continent. Heat signature suggests it's approximately, good God, it's enormous." Through the view screen, they could see the creature moving across the landscape. Even from orbit, its massive form was visible as it prowled between the abandoned cities of Zarathian Prime. "Well," Chen said, stroking her chin thoughtfully, "it is pretty big. Jenkins, what's our food situation?" The quartermaster consulted his tablet. "Running low on protein, Captain. Been living on synthetic rations for weeks." Chen smiled, an expression that would have terrified any alien who understood human facial expressions. "Dr. Park, run a full biological scan on our friend down there. I want to know if it's edible." The bridge crew exchanged glances. This was why they loved serving under Captain Chen. 2 hours later, Dr. Park delivered her report. "Captain, the creature appears to be primarily muscle tissue with a protein content that's off the charts. Its hide would make excellent leather, and preliminary analysis suggests the meat would be, well, delicious. Any toxins? None detected. In fact, it might be the most nutritionally perfect food source we've ever encountered." Chen stood up, straightening her uniform. "Marines, prep the dropships. Weapons team, load the heavy artillery. Kitchen staff, fire up the grills and prepare the marinade. We're having barbecue tonight." The landing was swift and efficient. The creature, which the humans had started calling Big Bertha, was indeed terrifying to behold. Its roar shook the ground for miles around, and its eyes burned with an intelligence that spoke of cunning beyond animal instinct. It charged at the human landing party with the fury of a living nightmare. Marine Sergeant Thompson raised her plasma rifle and remarked to her squad, "Looks like the stakes are coming to us." The battle was brief. While the creature's hide was indeed impervious to the conventional weapons that had failed other species, humans had long ago learned the value of overwhelming firepower. Plasma cannons, seismic charges, and good old-fashioned strategy brought down the galaxy's most feared monster in under 20 minutes. As the dust settled and the creature lay still, Chef Rodriguez approached with his carving tools. "I'm thinking we start with the tenderloin, Captain. Should feed the whole crew for months." Word of the humans' victory feast spread across the galaxy faster than hyperspace communication. The emergency broadcast changed from warnings to confused reports. The monster that had terrorized civilizations for millennia had been barbecued. Ambassador Kethavar received the final transmission from the Odyssey 3 days later. It was a dinner invitation. The crew of the human vessel Odyssey cordially invites representatives of the Galactic Council to join us for a celebration dinner on Zarathian Prime. Tonight's menu features slow-roasted nightmare beast with teriyaki glaze, served with roasted vegetables from the ship's hydroponic garden. BYOB. The ambassador stared at the message, her forehands trembling for an entirely different reason now. In the attachment was a photo of 32 humans wearing chef's hats, grinning widely as they posed around a massive barbecue pit. That night, as word spread throughout the galaxy that humanity had not only defeated the legendary terror of Zarathian Prime, but had turned it into a potluck dinner, several important realizations dawned on the galactic community. First, there was now a new apex predator in the galaxy, and it walked on 2 legs and seasoned its food. Second, the humans' casual reaction to encountering their worst nightmare, turning it into a meal, suggested they might not be the friendly, harmless species everyone had assumed. And third, perhaps most importantly, if humans could look at the galaxy's most terrifying monster and see dinner, what did they see when they looked at everyone else? The galaxy would never be the same, but at least the humans were willing to share recipes.